So can organic milk that has a shelf life of 6 to 9 months still be good for you? So I got asked this question the other night at my in-laws' house. We're eating dinner. A couple of people asked for coffee, and then another person asked for half and half. So my mother-in-law got 2 bottles of half and half, put it on the table. And she asked me this question. She's like, I don't understand. I know that organic is good. That's why I bought it. It has less chemicals, less hormones, toxins in it. But how can you have an organic milk that should only last maybe a couple days to maybe a week? How are they guaranteeing this to last 6 to 9 months? And so my answer to that is it has to do with the way that they pasteurize it. So if you take a look on these bottles here, this is one that was on the table. This is Simple Truth Organic. And if you see right there, it says UHT, which stands for ultra high temp. And then another popular brand is a company called Horizon. And if you look here, it says ultra-pasteurized. And so that's how they're able to take this organic milk and make it where it'll actually have a shelf life up to 6 to 9 months, which is very impressive. But what's going on is they bring this particular milk up to a very, very high temperature so that it kills more microbes. And so that's good for shelf life, but it's not so good for us. So let's take a look at that. So what is UHT milk? So we just learned that UHT stands for ultra high temp, but what the US government says is for a milk to be UHT or ultra pasteurized, it has to be brought to the temperature of 280 degrees Fahrenheit or a bit above that for at least 2 seconds, so that this milk will have an extended shelf life. So UHT milk has a shelf life of 6 to 9 months until it's open. And back in 1993, when they first introduced this to the market, they hit a bit of a problem because this milk does not even have to be refrigerated. But what they learned is the consumer, the American consumer, did not trust milk that was not refrigerated. And so they got very creative and they decided, hey, let's just put this in the refrigeration aisle, just like regular milk. And that's when the sales of this product actually started to take off because people started to trust this milk because it was refrigerated. So what is wrong with UHT processing? One of the main problems really from a consumer point of view, and what happens when you take this milk and you bring it to that very high temperature, it causes a rapid denaturization of the protein, of the membrane proteins, and the whey proteins actually unfold, and it reveals a sulfohydryl group. And the problem with this is it creates what they call a high burnt flavoring or high cooked flavoring. So this actually makes it smell bad and taste bad. And so over the years, they used many different things from adding different types of flavonoids and different processing techniques to take away from this bad flavor and this bad smell so that it's more pleasant for the consumer. Okay, so it smells bad and it tastes bad, but what's so bad about this type of pasteurization versus regular pasteurization? And it's the high heat. Basically, it destroys the enzymes. It flattens them out so these enzymes can't actually do what they're supposed to do, which is help us break the milk proteins down. So now we're getting these casein proteins that are very, very hard to digest. So this is pretty scary stuff. And I believe this is why we're starting to see so many people identify as dairy sensitive. I'm starting to see more and more dairy allergies in clinical practice. And so this pasteurization, this high temperature pasteurization, not only is it killing the enzymes so that we can't break the milk down and actually use it properly, but it is bringing the casein protein to a point to where it is indigestible. So where do we go from here, and what are some really good alternatives? The most basic thing you could consider would be to take a proteolytic enzyme if you want to continue to use these high pasteurized products. Not that it's your best choice. I do like that they are organic, so we're getting less chemicals and hormones. But if you use a proteolytic enzyme, this would help you break down the casein protein better, which reduce some of the allergy issues with it, liberate more nutrition from that as well, and help you digest that particular high pasteurized milk better. Your best option would be if you can get a hold of grass-fed, non-homogenized non-pasteurized dairy products, preferably from cows that have more A2 protein versus A1. The A1 protein is more allergenic, and so we're talking about Jersey cows, and Guernsey's cows will have more of an A2 profile, which would be the optimal choice. Then you can also look for sheep or goat's milk. Again, that is a grass-fed, not homogenized, not pasteurized, which has a lot more of the A2 protein in there as well. And then you can look at the different milk substitutes, or what I call milk alternatives. A lot of companies are making some really good products, half and half the products from coconut milk, almond milk, and rice milk. These can be very good healthy substitutes for you. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos, and stay tuned for more tips and tricks on how to transform your health naturally.